Today we're going to be looking at a scenario where civilization starts over. This is episode 6, and in the last episode we saw a lot of change. We saw many new countries all around the world. We saw Asia get explored more, and this white team went into a civil war. So if you guys enjoy these videos, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you for 20 subscribers. That's awesome. And we're getting along pretty good. So let's get into it. So this African country is getting pretty big. And at this time, countries can't get super big. Like this blue team, they're pretty dang big. They have land up in Germany. But what I'm saying is this African country is breaking out into a civil war. So we see the eastern half of this country break away. And of course, the African country is going to have to respond. But the thing is, that wasn't the only spot that was breaking away. Because we see yet another section of the African country break away and try to form its own country. 2 rebellions, and now they're gonna, well, who knows if they'll be working together, but their main goal is to get independence from the African country. First one to make a move is the first country, well, the first rebellion, and they are going to start going up the coastline. Also, cool thing I did, I put the capitals of these countries on their own layer. So as you can see, if I click the layer, they go off, and I can turn them off and on. So if we're doing wars and we don't want to see the capitals, I can turn them off. I can use these layers as like other stuff. I can probably use them as alliances. So be on the lookout for that in the future. But the African country was not that prepared for this war. They knew this area was getting rowdy, but they didn't know it was getting this rowdy. And we actually also see some little provinces inside start breaking away. So that's great. But we see the second little rebellion actually is probably doing better than the first one. They get a pretty big encirclement of a lot of troops, and they're kind of just going up the coastline, messing up some stuff. Same thing kind of happens, but this time it's one gigantic rebellion to join up with this country. So the African country is not doing that good. So they're going to ask for some help, and they are going to get that help. We start seeing the blue French country of anyone to start supplying the African country. With these troops, well, volunteered troops and supplies coming in, they're able to actually make a big pushback against the second rebellion and actually get into their territory. They're going to start picking up off this little exclave they have. Instead of like taking back this area, they push down deep into this section, almost actually completely cutting off this country. And they take out all the exclaves they have. So right now it looks like that the African country is going to win this war, but of course somebody has to get involved. The blue country is going to send their troops in and to this little section only. And the reason they're going to do this is because, well, the old Iberian country, the southern Iberian country, used to own this spot, and they want it back. And they don't really care about this rebellion, so they're actually going to go up into their land and take some of it. But this is as far as they go, and they set up a hard defense line. But for some reason, the southern rebellion, well, not the southern, the western rebellion, is now doing very good, and they take quite a bit of land. With this pushback from this country, the other rebellion is also going to get a big push up and actually start taking over a lot more land. And they meet up with the Western Rebellion, and they agree to kind of just pick this country apart until they can't go anymore. But then the African country is going to surrender to everyone, to the blue team mainly, Yeah, the blue team mainly. The blue team made them surrender to them, but they're going to surrender to both of these countries, well, both of the rebellions. Let's look at a peace treaty. And here are the new borders of the African country. We're going to put a capital right there and right here. But now with Africa now being split into many new countries, let's head over to Asia, where we see massive population increase of the Chinese country, so much in fact that they're actually going to need to expand. So the Chinese country just expanded greatly, and they are probably now one of the biggest countries in the world. I mean, I'd still say the biggest either is India. I don't know, they're definitely in the top three. The top three is probably China, India, and the blue Spanish country. But let's go over to Korea and also the Japanese Isles. Korea has been doing some expansion. They take over this island and actually make a landing inside of the first Japanese island. Well, I don't know if this is the first, but we're calling it the first. And they're going to take it all and they start to go up. Well, I'm going to call this the third Japanese isle. But then some people rebel. Well, some military rebels, and also some people who live in the Korea migrate over to Japan. So we see the more population-centered area move up to the north of Japan, and they're gonna take over some borders that look like this, as well as these islands. But we're now gonna see the more military country pop up, and that is going to look something like this. Korea sent a lot of their military to this island because they didn't know what it could have for the people living there. They didn't know if it would be dangerous, so they sent their military to test it out for a little bit. But then they revolted and formed their own country. This white spot in the middle is actually going to also be a new country. It is going to be a mix between the more population-centered and the military-centered. It is going to look like this, and it kind of has a little exclave right here, but they can use boats to get to that. The capitals of these new countries, the first one, the population, going to be right there. The military one be right there, and the middle one will be there. So now that we have a couple new countries, we're going to see some new countries start forming up in Arabia. And make up the scenarios on how these countries pop up. I'm just going to color them in. The first one is going to be this one. Then we have kind of a UAE. Have kind of the Oman of this timeline. Then we just kind of have a southern Arabian tip country. The capitals of these countries are going to go there, 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 and there. Now we're back in Europe, and I'm looking at the Lime team. The Lime team, they're gearing up for something. They're not going to say what. Let's just say that they're in contact with another country that has recently lost land, and they are going to help them get some land back, but they need resources. They need more resources in order to build up a better army, even though their army is already top 10 in the world. So, they're going to declare war on Austria. Well, Austria, they don't even have a single chance. They're one of the weakest countries in the world, and soon enough, they kind of just surrender, knowing that they'll be fully annexed. Full annexation, and now the Lime team is getting pretty big. I mean, it's like southern France. We kind of have northern France. I just call this the France area because they control Paris, I think, Brittany, and I don't know. It just feels right calling a blue country France and just a lime country. Let's go up to brother and sister who hate each other. So these two are going to continue to expand. Sweden is going to expand up here, but that's as far as they're going to be able to get because Norway just did a massive push up to completely cut off the Swedish country from expanding anymore. And the Swedish country is pissed. They are livid that that Norway did this. They cannot believe they just completely cut them off from even expanding. Norway has expanded quite a bit, but what they're gonna do is kind of just expand outwards a little bit more before stopping. And let's just say Norway, they send some boats west. They're sending boats to go and try to discover more land. They discover these little islands and they are going to take them, but they are sending boats out to go and try to just see what's this way. The boats are sailing kind of like this. They're going up. They take a pretty big upwards. They're going down and they're heading this way towards Greenland. We'll see more stuff about that in the next episode. But anyways, we see a new country pop up in Finland, and this is the Finland of this timeline. They're going to expand pretty quickly. A lot of people from Norway and Sweden moved here to not fight each other as much. And they're going to get pretty big. They're going to go down. This is their warmest area, 100%. Yeah, we have a new Scandinavian country. And for the last event of this video, the blue team, after getting land inside of Africa, they like getting land. So there's a little open spot inside of Africa. We see blue team troops and colonizers land inside of this little area of Africa, and they are going to take over land inside of Africa. They take over a lot more land than they should, and they are definitely the biggest country in the world now. And this is the first really colony we see. It's not considered a colony because I don't even know if Christ has been born yet. So, yeah. But that is going to do it for this video. Tensions are escalating in Europe and all around the world. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want more videos like this. Goodbye.